Good morning. Welcome to another session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and we'll go ahead and start with our obligatory risk disclosure here, and we'll get started. All right, let's go ahead and move into our risk disclosure. Just want to remind everyone that the content being provided here is to be treated as general information. Okay, none of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any future security, company, or fund. Use of the information contained is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, we'll take a peek here at the scheduled news or some events here coming up here today. Fair amount of news today. So we've already had a good chunk of it already reporting unemployment, non-farm payroll. So already in the markets. Okay. So that's already kind of being digested as we speak. We had Fed member Kashkin speaking here at 8:40, and then we have Fed member Bowman speaking here at 9:25. Okay, we have a Michigan sentiment coming in at 10 a.m. We have wholesale inventories, U.S. wholesale inventories month over month coming in at 10 a.m. again as well. Also including some inflationary numbers. Okay. And then at noon, we have Fed member Kugler speaking. And then as we get pretty much, I think at the end of the market here, we have, looks like appearance from Trump. And then also some U.S. consumer credit reporting coming in. So as I mentioned, there's already a fair amount of news, kind of mixed, some good, some bad. So I believe that the market is kind of digesting the news, and market participants that move markets are deciding what to make of the news and how to position themselves from it. Okay. So let's go ahead and now that we've gotten black screen, okay, let's we'll, see if we can correct that here. Right. Hopefully it's visible now. Okay, just kind of we're just talking about the various news that we have in the market today. Okay, so hopefully Marcelo, that's been addressed. Hopefully you can now see my screen. While I wait for confirmation on that, I'm going to go ahead and change the screen on us and move actually to the trading platform. But okay, good, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the trading platform. Okay, and here we are. We'll start off with our normal market here, and that being gold. Okay. To start, it's the market that's already opened. Okay, now we're 10 minutes into this. Okay, so again, as we normally do, we always start with a review of kind of the higher time frame. Remove some of my drawings, turn off some of my indicators, try to make this review as clean and biases. Just looking at price action and evaluating what price is trying to accomplish here. Okay, so let's turn this all off. Okay, I think I did manage to do that now, and we'll move this above. Okay, so kind of looking at this market. you can see that, we continue, okay? We continue our march higher, okay? We're up at almost all-time highs in this market. I think, what, 2907? We've reached 2907. And now, I would say that maybe, if anything, we might be seeing a little bit of a slowdown, okay, in our march, okay, over the last couple of days, or over the last day, I should say. In the last day, we did not make a new high. Okay, we've kind of we had an inside day from the prior day, and we're doing somewhat of the same now. Okay, we have an inside of an inside here so far. Okay, but this is still very much a developing candle here. Okay, so moving into the 4 hour chart. Okay, 4 hour chart. We have a set of kind of, I would say, a little bit more overlapping candles here. Okay. We seem to be creating a little bit of it feels like a rounding kind of top here. I do see that we are in the last, set of 4 hour candles here. We've kind of respected this area here around 2900, which is understandable given the moves that we've made in gold to date. Okay, so we are up against an area of resistance. Okay, now the question is, that area going to resistance, is that eventually going to cause a little bit of a sell off here? A sell off, I say, a little bit of a retracement here in the gold market. Okay, right now we have a developing bullish, bearish engulfing candle in an otherwise kind of rangy market right now, right? We've been kind of ranging between, let's say, 2,900, okay, down to low here about, let's call it 2860. So between 2860 and 29, this is kind of the range that we've been of late, okay? All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. So 30-minute chart. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay. No, this is not but this is the same candle on GC. Okay. This is, but we'll get to NASDAQ and we'll take a look at that. So let's see. Fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and locate the start of Thursday to the close of Thursday, and you can see right now we took a peek into value, okay, and now we're back. We're really creating a very indecisive candle here, okay. So again, this is classic news driven candle here, right? We looked above and looked below, and now we're somewhere in that middle range here, okay. So price is still technically, okay, I say technically, above, right? Is still technically above value, right? So if it manages to hold, and it honestly does not appear that that's going to be the case, then there's a natural feeling here that price could reverse from here. Okay, right? This could be a natural location for price to reverse. Now, if we do manage to close inside value, I say an actual close, then we could get a full rotation, right? We could get a full rotation. We could get a full rotation down to value area low. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up our initial balance. And let's see what that has to say here. Always seem to, oh, here we go. Initial balance, there it is. So relatively wide as a result of the news event that we had of non-farm payroll. Okay. So we have a relatively wide initial balance range, which could potentially impact extension trades. Okay, IB extension trades today. Okay, we may have already exhausted much of whatever range we are able to secure here it's going to be far more difficult for the market participants to drive price outside, because I think we have an above average initial balance. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we probably should be focusing in on um, opportunities that are maybe fading, maybe potential fades of edges. Okay, in this case of initial balance. Okay, opportunities that maybe come up to these levels and react away from them. Okay, something along these kind of lines. Okay, coming up to IB high and reversing lower, and basically remaining in this range that it's established of late. Okay, and the same is true below, right? We could have something that comes down like this. Okay, and using IB low as kind of a I say a fence line, so to speak, for the price action. Okay. So that's something I guess to keep in mind here in today's session. Given this IB range, we may struggle. I would say we may struggle in extending. Okay, in extending this range. All right. So we'll have to take a look at that. Okay. I would say that it might be a bit easier to go down than up. Okay, given all the resistance that we have above us, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and open up my ADR here. Let's see, ADR. Where's my ADR? Initial balance I've already drawn. ADR is right here. Okay, so there's that 28.9 dash that 2900 level that we talked about already, and then we have ASR is around 2903. So we have some levels here around 2900. Okay, that will serve as areas of potential reversals in price. Okay, so if we do rally from here, those would be a logical, I guess, location for reversals in price. Right now, we have price below VWAP and between value area high. I would say that if we do get price to close back inside here, then I think we have a reasonable chance to maybe get a swing down to at least IB low and maybe as low as 28.71. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. I'm going to go ahead and add our price levels to this market. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And before we move on to crude oil. Okay. So let's locate our price levels here. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll just go ahead and add these price levels to the chart. Okay. So these are our price levels that we'll be tracking in this market. There they are. Okay. These are the price levels. We have our 2,900 as a 4-hour supply. We have 2,800 as our 4-hour demand, which is well below here. Okay. So right now, I would say coming into this market, I think we are starting to see some structure that maybe we could continue to the downside in this market. It'll be interesting for me over the next 6 minutes or so whether we get a close back inside value or not in the gold. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the crude oil. Okay. So crude oil, here we are. Crude oil. So again, we are going to go ahead and open up the daily chart. We're going to ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, like I said, the market of late has been rather weak. Okay. Really haven't made any strides in reversing this trend down. Okay. Right. We continue to make lower lows and lower highs. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart. We've made some attempts here a couple of times to firm up the market, only to be met with sellers. Okay. So let's go ahead and remove some of my drawings here. Again, we'll leave initial balance. Okay. So looking at this again, you see that we've made our series of lower lows and lower highs, and we have a developing engulfing candle as we speak. All right. So yeah, so right now, again, really not seeing any other structure that would indicate to me that there is a necessarily an impulsive move to the upside. Okay. Right now we seem to be quite content in staying inside. Okay, staying inside this bearish channel to the downside. Okay, so yeah, so really nothing here to offer us much in the way of any sort of trade potential. Okay, to the upside. I feel okay. Feels like we continue making lower lows and lower highs, and I think that's kind of how what we have to at least go into feeling as we enter this market. Okay. All right. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart, I'm going to go ahead and remove this channel for now. That's too wide of a channel for this. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're kind of inside the initial balance range from yesterday. Really, we were not able to make an extension from yesterday's initial balance range. Yesterday's range. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, and I suspect that the fixed range volume profile is probably going to tell us something similar. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile, drag that across to the close here. Okay, and you can see that we're pretty much inside value here, right? So we're kind of waffling inside a range, right? A lot of as mentioned in chat, a lot of overlapping candles here, really lacking any sort of direction. As a result, our VWAP is flat. Okay. So again, going into this to this market, I would say that we probably are looking a little bit more range, all right, more in consolidation than normal. Okay, really not showing us well, other than the fact that we are in bearish structure to the downside. We seem to be, content inside this range between, let's say, 71 and 71.40, right? Really tight range of price action at the moment. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and see if we can add our price levels. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek here at what my anchor VWAP is going to tell me, and it's below. Okay, you can see that price is below London here, so it does feel like that maybe there's another leg in the horizon to the downside in the crude oil market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our price levels here. We'll start to add my ADR and ASR. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and add this here. Okay, so there's our price levels. Okay, in this market, like we have our levels that we care about. We're going to go ahead and open up ADR now. Let's see, ADR and ASR. So there's ADR and then ASR here is here. All right, so there's our ranges. Okay, just going to scoot this over here to the left here a little bit so we can make sure it's visible for everyone. Okay, so we're right smack in the middle of our average ranges here. Again, feels heavy. Okay, honestly, feels like it wants to head back down to 70. Okay, even from current levels. We're below VWAP. We're below daily VWAP. Market is about to open here in a couple of minutes, but it does feel like it's going to continue to the downside. Okay, all right. Moving on to the equity markets, we can take a look at this candle that was generated by non-farm payroll here. Similar to what we saw in gold. Okay, we got wicks on both ends here. But let's take a first look at the daily, daily chart, and see what the daily chart has to say. All right. So again, we continue in this kind of overlapping price action. We've made our series of bullish candles here of late. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my ADR and my ASR here. Okay. And my initial balance range, because we're ways away from that at the moment. Okay. And yeah, so again, we seem to be in some sort of consolidation range. Lots of overlapping candles on the daily chart. We've had our series of bullish candles of late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish candles, okay, of late. And we are developing our fifth right now, okay? Looking at the volume delta is still positive, although probably lacking the volume that we would like to see, all right, for a sustained move, okay? Ziggy, you feel like NQ is at a very important level. I could see why you would say that. Okay, I could see why you would say that, because we are at an area of some resistance here, right? So it could easily turn back that for another swing lower. Okay, based on its current levels, right? If we are truly going to embrace maybe further upside in this market, we obviously need to get above 22,000. Okay, if we can get above 22,000, then maybe that will open up the further upside move here. Okay, but as long as we stay below this level, it does open us up to maybe a possibility of a swing lower. Okay, all right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, here we are kind of like bumping our heads up against this level that I drew here. Okay, this resistance or demand, the supply zone that we've mentioned already. We have a bullish candle, but I wouldn't say necessarily it's the strongest. The bullish candles developing here on the 4-hour. Okay, it's kind of like a high wave candle with a small body and wicks on both ends. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see whether this firms up and we do get maybe a close of this 4-hour candle above, let's say, 21,900. If we do get a close above 21,900, then maybe we do revisit 22,000 today. Okay, that's certainly not outside the realm of possibility before we see any sort of significant move. Okay, now I think there's a lot of people interested in seeing some sort of short or bearish action and trying to anticipate that, and they're trapping a lot of short sellers up at these markets and making it very painful to them. Okay. Um, so the 1-hour channel was breaking prior to the news. All the shorts got gobbled up by that news. Yeah. So again, I think it's like anything else. When folks kind of smell kind of blood in the water, right? Everybody wants to pounce at any sign of weakness here, right? And now a lot of often what happens is we get a lot of trap sellers here, right? So, well, I don't know. I don't know necessarily whether it will go down NQ, Rudine. But what I do know is that we are in an area where that could potentially happen. Right. This is an area here where we could see a leg lower. Okay. Right. This is a logical place for price to head lower. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart. Okay, we're kind of been hanging around here for a period of time here. Looks like we had let's see, London, really not offer us any sort of indication on direction here, right? So we've been kind of waffling around VWAP, horizontal VWAP as a result. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and open the start of yesterday's session over here. Okay, and then drag that across to the close, and you can see that price is technically above. Okay, is technically above value, so would be a positive sign for the bulls. Okay. But it's been in a kind of an overlapping in an overnight trade. It's been overlapping, really no direction. Okay. So as we head into the day, question for us is, well, which direction should we be looking? Well, like I said before, well, if price remains above value, okay, then we need to maybe not something we want to necessarily say, but we need to continue to look higher. Okay. If we start to break structure, if we get below 21,840, then we can make a case here for maybe a continuation move to the downside. But we have to see we need to see some sort of initiative price action to indicate one way or the other. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add my levels here to this chart where initial balance is still a ways away or the market is still a ways away from opening here. Okay. So we're about 25 minutes away from that happening. Okay. So these are our levels that I'm tracking in this market. These are levels that I'm using not only as targets, but maybe areas of potential reversal in price. Okay. So we have our value area low, which value area high, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and extend that line because that's kind of the nearest reference level that I have to kind of base any sort of decision on. Okay. So right now, again, like I said, as long as we remain above value, right, we have to think bullish. Okay. If we start to break some structure below, like close below VWAP and close into value, then maybe we can make a case for a move lower. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP, here. Yeah, I think that Ziggy, you can make a case. You can make that case on in both directions. Right now, we're in a consolidation range, right? So whether we decide to go long or whether we decide to go short, we need a definitive move, right? We need a definitive move. Now, I would agree with you that the path down is probably least resistant. Okay, there's a clear path down. Okay, because we do have some resistance here around 22,000 that could stall price. Okay, so I agree with your view. I mean, buying at all-time highs or buying at the highs is never an appealing, appealing risk reward scenario, right? So definitely something to keep in mind. Okay. All right. I was going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP here. Let's do that, and then we'll move on to the S&P. Okay. So again, very horizontal VWAPs here, really not giving us any indication on the direction. Okay. I think there's probably a lot of people that would like to see a swing lower because they see a path, a path that could take us down to 700 without much issue. Okay, but we don't trade the market we want. We trade the market we have, and we have to, so to speak, read the charts, read the candles the way they are presented to us. Okay, all right. Okay, so before I move on to the last couple of instruments here, just want to encourage everyone, to not be shy with the likes and subscribes, comments along the how this analysis is supporting your analysis of the markets. These are all kinds of important elements to continue to build out this portal here and continue to support you in doing this analysis. Okay. Again, I'm kind of opening the portal up here membership wise. Trying to drive as much support and continue to build the portal. But obviously cannot do that without your support. Okay. All right. So with that said, and let's go ahead and move on to the last couple of markets of the session here. Let's go ahead and move into the Dow, not the Dow, the S&P. Okay. So we'll take a look at the daily. Okay. And again, no matter how we want to slice it, okay, we still continue to see bullish action to the upside. Okay. We have one, actually, this is less of a bullish candle, but one, two, well, certainly the last two have been bullish candles. Okay. We have a bullish candle that's really not being driven by any significant volume. Okay. But nonetheless, if we were to look at this, right, if we just had this to look at, I don't think there would be anybody in this room that would say necessarily bearish, right? So we still are in some bullish structure. We start to, if we open this up here, we get more context. We can see that maybe we are in maybe a larger range here. Okay, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing. If you look at more recently, looks like we might be developing some structure to the upside. If you take in more price candles, you would say that maybe we are in some sort of range or consolidating area here. All right, moving into the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. We seem to be grinding to higher. I say grinding because of the fact that we have buying and selling wicks on both ends of these candles. Okay, um, so we are coming into an area here where we could see some resistance to price here. Okay, so if I go ahead and draw this area right here, I see evidence to the left here that we are coming into an area where we might find some sellers. Okay, which could offer us maybe an opportunity for some downside. Okay, right? We had our gap filled. Now we are past that gap, and as I mentioned, kind of grinding our way to the upside. So I would say that 6130, I would say, is a relatively important level. Okay, does price have the participants to drive price higher? Okay, which will start to maybe change this character of the market. Right now, it seems to be in some sort of range between 6160 and 5950. Okay, that's the feeling that I have right now. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. We have our price is currently above our VWAP. Okay. We had again kind of this high wave candle, more bullish than bearish with the news here at the start of the market, start of the day, I should say. And let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Let's locate our start of Thursday here, and then we'll drag that across to the close of Thursday, and you can see that we are technically above, much like the NAS, right? We are still technically above our value, right? Indicating that there may be further upside opportunity in this market. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and open up my anchor VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and locate the start of London, which is right about here. And you can see that price is above both our daily VWAP and our anchor VWAP from London. Okay, both indicating again maybe there is more upside opportunity available. The only thing that we need to be aware of, obviously, is we're coming into a supply zone, an area of resistance. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and add our price levels to this chart here. We're going to go ahead and add those here. Okay. And then we'll open up our ADR and ASR just to see where we stand in relation to some statistical ranges here. So there's, let's see, where is my ADR? Okay, well, there's my ASR. Let's open that up first. And then ADR should be here somewhere, I think. Okay, it's down here like this. Okay, there's our ADR. Okay, and then let's turn this off just to make it a little bit more visible. You can see that we have ASR high here at 61.25. Okay, so that could be a reasonable target for this current move. All right, up to 61.25, and then we have ADR high here at 61, almost 61.30. So we have a couple of levels here that could serve as targets for current price action. Right, we're starting to see price get above. Right, we had a close above this area here to the left, and now we have kind of a rejection candle back away from VWAP. Okay, so this leads me to believe that maybe we are headed for maybe another leg higher. Okay, 61.25, 61.30 would be those areas where maybe it becomes a bit resistant. Okay, so let's see here. Go ahead and locate my ADR low, 60.51, 50. Okay, 60. Oops. 51.50 is our average low. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in this market. It does appear to me that maybe we are slightly a little bit more bullish on ES than I am in NASDAQ at the moment. I feel like it's let's take a look at volume delta here, just to kind of as a secondary view here. Not seeing much in volume delta at the moment. Okay, to indicate anything at this point. All right, we did seem to get some buyers stepping in on the news. Okay, so in any case, that's kind of, let's see, kind of tone this down here a little bit. Okay. All right. So again, I would say going into the open of this market in about 15 or so minutes, I would say that I think the view is maybe for some further upside in the ES. We've broken some structure here to the left, and and now we have a developing. We had a reversal candle off of a reference level, a value area high. So the possibility is indicating that we had higher here. Okay. Areas of resistance, the areas I would be cautious about is 61.30, 61.25. Those are areas that I mean, if you wanted to wait, instead of participating necessarily to an upside move, then these areas would be the logical places for maybe a reversal of some sort. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and look at one last market here, and that is the Dow. Okay. We'll take a look at the Dow, and we'll open up the daily chart. Okay. So let's remove our drawings here. Okay. And then remove our ASR here. And we'll leave, let's see, ADR also, remove that as well. Okay. All right. So here we are. Okay. So again, daily indicating a lot of overlapping price action. Okay. At almost the top of the range. Okay. So question is this going to be an area where we maybe see price fail? Okay. To the downside. Okay. Or do we see price get above 45,000 and head higher? Okay. We're kind of in an interesting area here, right? You can see here on the left-hand side, you can see that price is at a level where we've sold off in the past, right here, right? Now, the question is, are we going to follow this path, right? I mean, we're at a location for that to happen, okay? Or is this going to be an area where we start to build up some momentum or further momentum to the upside? Okay, we see some indications here, right? It seems to be some buyers present here. Okay, so these levels, as price came down to them, found some buyers. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we have our series of candles here up against this area of supply. So a question is, can 45,200 hold? Okay, if it can hold, then again, this could lead to a leg lower. Okay, right? If we hold this level, right, we don't get above, say, 45,200, because the candles there are, I mean, these are, we had our move lower, and now this feels more like a pullback. Okay, so this feels like maybe there's another leg lower in store. Okay, in this market. All right. Moving into the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, again, kind of been meandering around. We do see price above VWAP, okay, but we've been above and below VWAP of late, right? We've been kind of in this kind of range price action. I'm going to remove this because I understand that I'm in inside an area of supply, okay. The question is now, are we, looking at this chart again? It does feel like maybe there's a move higher in the Dow, right? We see a rather, I would say the strongest of bullish candles, but a bullish engulfing candle nonetheless. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We'll take a look and see where we stand in relation to price from yesterday, or value, I should say. And right now, it's we're inside, okay? Both ES and ES and the NASDAQ were above. So we are kind of hovering inside value from yesterday, okay? So until we can get above, again, this 45,000 seems to kind of rear its ugly head here, okay? I would say I'm going to go ahead and mark this. 45,000 seems to be the line in the sand here, okay? If we can get above 45,000, I would say that we have a chance for higher prices. If we cannot get above 45,000, the longer we hang out here without getting above 45,000 may lead to price heading lower. Okay. All right. So I do not have any price levels captured here for the Dow. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my ADR. I'm going to open up my ASR. Okay. Just so you can see some of these things. All right. I'll also open up this. So we have some levels that I've tracked here on the right. Okay. So here are some, we have settlement price and value area high, value area low, point of control. Okay. And then if I can open up ASR, I will do that. And I can. So again, right around that 45,000 level seems to be an area, area rich with information that could indicate we may get a reversal from there. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much what I have for you today. We've reviewed let's see, 5 markets. Okay, gold, crude oil, Nasdaq, ES, and now the Dow. So I would say that gold was looking a little bit bearish. Crude oil was certainly bearish. Equities was a bit mixed. Okay. Coming into some areas, maybe we get another leg higher in this market today. It's difficult to say, but I'm going to be waiting and remain patient for my initial balance to establish in these markets before I take on any serious execution in one direction or the other. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it to summarize kind of the market today. Okay. So bearish. I'm going to say bullish bullish to bearish in the equities. Okay. So yeah, so I think that's it for me, guys. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the sessions. Like we mentioned, again, don't be shy with your likes and subscribes on your way out. Okay. And more importantly, if you can make a comment or two on how this has brought you some value to your analysis of the markets, that's also very welcome. Okay. So with that, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent trading session today. We'll talk.